more than 100,000 additional workers, including skilled tradespeople in the construction sector, to meet the needs of our economy in the coming years. And it will only be more acute with 1 in 3 workers with trade certificates aged 55 years and older. The need for these skilled trades is expected to be high over the next 5 years. The total job openings will remain high for transport truck drivers, carpenters, and electricians. And without filling these positions, we risk hampering our long-term economic success. It's why we are promoting technology, skilled trades, and apprenticeship pathways, along with a renewed focus on STEM education and entrepreneurship, a key priority for Premier Ford. In building a clear pathway to apprenticeship and the skilled trades begins with a strong foundation in our elementary system, starting in our education system, starting in our elementary schools. Our government has taken action already to support education in the skilled trades. Under the previous Liberal government, key topics such as coding, mathematical modeling, financial management and budgeting, and applying math to everyday life were not covered in mathematics curriculums, leaving students with a knowledge gap. In 2019, our government introduced a new grade 10 careers course that ensures students have the opportunities to explore the skilled trades as a viable career. And we made regulatory amendments to officially recognize the education and work experience of Ontario's technological education work of teachers, to empower school boards to hire the best teacher for the job. We continue to expand skills programs like the Specialist High Skills Major program, and we're collaborating with great partners like First Robotics and Skills Ontario to ensure students can explore technology, skilled trades, and apprenticeship pathways. But we know there is more to do. The Youth Advisor recommendations builds on our technology, skilled trades, and apprenticeship plan. And as such, we are working on a number of new and existing initiatives to take actions on these recommendations. For example, we're making things more affordable for students pursuing pathways into skilled trades with a skilled trades bursary program starting this year. We're providing guidance teacher counselors with more professional learning related to the skilled trades. We're working with the Minister of Labour to develop online modules focused on the skills and job readiness needed for a career in the skilled trades. And we're also facilitating donations to needed materials and supplies from industries and community partners to support the delivery of skilled trades programming within our schools. Modernizing curriculum to better reflect the skilled trades and apprenticeship pathways is critical. And working with the Minister of Labour, we're going to continue to support local service system managers and licensed childcare operators to strengthen the workforce and provide more flexible childcare options for workers within our communities. Under the previous government, we saw test scores languish and students were left without the mathematical skills they needed to succeed. We are working to correct this by modernizing the curriculum, by expanding investments in the skilled trades as we are doing today, and prepare students to face the challenges of the global economy. Doing so will ensure students have the skills they need to be successful in whatever pathway they choose. That has been the foundation of our work within our government. And we're preparing students for in-demand, highly skilled jobs that will benefit all of us. So thank you. We appreciate this work, and we're looking forward to filling those gaps, 100,000 more workers within our province. I now want to turn it over to Jerry Ordandas, the president of GP Bikes. Thank you.
Well, it is such a great honor to have Mr. Lecce and Mr. McNaughton here with us on this great day. It's a wonderful day for the power sports industry. It's a beautiful day today, and we, on behalf of GP Bikes, my wife, and our whole team, we are so excited about this investment in the next generation in the skilled trades area, and we are just so excited about seeing more people come into this space. To invest in people at a young age, I believe, is so vital, and we in the power sports industry at GP Bikes, we're just so extremely excited and pumped about seeing new people come into our space in power sports, in our industry, in particular, motorcycle technicians. Anyways, just want to say thank you for allowing us to have this opportunity to be with you and share this exciting news. I'm going to pass it back on to Monte McNaughton.
We'll open it up for questions. Just a reminder, one question, one follow-up, please. And if you can come to the mic.
Good morning. Good morning. My question is for Minister Lecce. Hi, Minister. Alistair McNamara, Durham Radio News. We saw a shift in messaging last week from the federal level, with Dr. Tam acknowledging that COVID does linger in the air, making it essentially airborne. Now, we know the ministry provides masks to school boards. Some teachers have been requesting to be able to bring in better quality PPE. They've been rejected, in one case reportedly disciplined. We've asked the boards in Durham. They say it's up to the government. So my question to you, the minister, is will teachers be allowed to wear N95s, their own N95s, now that the feds say it's essentially airborne?
Well, first off, in order to improve the air quality within our schools, our government and premier invested literally over $600 million this year alone in improving the HVAC and air ventilation systems in all schools in Ontario. Roughly 75% of our schools have mechanical ventilation. We've improved all of them. Better filters, more often we're changing the filters, we're running the systems for longer periods to ensure fresh intake, air intake is within our schools. We also deployed 70,000 HEPA units to schools right across Ontario and into every classroom without mechanical ventilation. We really lead the country in this respect, so we acknowledge the importance of quality, clean air in our schools, which is why we made those investments ahead of time. We provide quality PPE to our education staff and to our students. 3-ply masks, which are consistent with the Public Health Agency of Canada's guidance. We continue to follow the best advice of the Chief Medical Officer of Health with respect to PPE. The science will guide our decisions. If at any time they recommend elevating the mask quality, we will do so. But any questions with respect to access to PPE really are guided by the Chief Medical Officer of Health and the broader evidence and recommendations he provides Cabinet with respect to keeping staff and students safe.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Actually, Minister Lecce, today you're negotiating with the feds with $10 a day daycare. First of all, what are your goals in those negotiations? And why are the negotiations ongoing still when most provinces have already signed?
Yeah, we're very much committed to getting a fair deal for Ontario families. We know, Jamie, that too many families pay exorbitant amounts for childcare. It's simply too expensive and inaccessible. And we saw childcare rise by 400% under the former Liberal government. We know we can do better. We also know the federal government can play a major role in this respect. They currently contribute only 2.5% of childcare costs in Ontario. They've got to do much more. So we're sitting with them today to make that case to ensure we deliver $10 a day daycare that is truly affordable for all families, so that we can get people working, support economic participation of women, and ultimately, help confront the cost of living that is rising across Canada. We're very much committed to a fair deal, a good deal that reduces costs, and that's what we're doing starting today.
Then when can parents expect $10 a day daycare? And all parents, right now we're massively behind in the number of daycare spaces available, and they're paying huge prices. When you sign this deal, or when the deal gets signed, when can an parent in Durham or in Toronto, in Windsor, expect to have their child going to a daycare center for $10 a day? Will that be immediate, or is that a gradual process?
Sure. Well, first off, we want to get a deal as soon as possible, so long as it is fair for the people we serve, that it actually delivers affordable childcare for all families and gets us to $10 a day, which the offer on the table, at least as it is composed, does not do. So we're working with them in good faith to get those prices down for all families as soon as possible, because we know childcare in Canada is very expensive. And as we saw to the former government, the former Liberal government, it just rose by literally 400%. So we know there's work to do in this respect. Yesterday, I joined the Minister of Infrastructure to announce the building of 3,000 net new childcare spaces within our schools. That is going to make a big difference when it comes to access, including here in Durham, but across the province. But we do know there's more work to do. It's why we're at the table with the feds, making the case for a better deal, a fair deal that reduces costs and increases access for working people in Ontario.
But I really ask for a timeline of when.
With respect to the deal, I mean, the federal program in year one would reduce prices by 50%, effective year one of that deal, and then reduce thereafter down to $10 a day. We want to make sure that prices come down for all families. We want to see $10 a day delivered for moms and dads in Ontario. It is too expensive for too many families, and the Premier is committed to getting a fair deal, take the time, work with the feds, and land the best possible deal for the people of this province.
Tim Kelly, Durham Region News.
Hi
I
there,
wanted
Ken.
to ask you, Stephen, the number one question parents have for our education reporter is, how can I keep my children safe in school? Because we continue to have outbreaks at Durham Region schools. Schools have even been closed, and the concern they have is, what can I do? What should I do? Should I keep my children home, or should I continue to send them to school? What advice would you have for those parents? Should they get their children vaccinated? Should schools do a better job of making sure that kids are safe or safe in school? What would you tell those parents?
Well, first off, I thank parents in Ontario for shouldering a disproportionate burden of this pandemic. They work very hard. They're committed to their children's safety, and we wouldn't be here today with 2 million kids learning if not for their great collaboration. The first off, I'd encourage vaccinations. 81% of our students 12 to 17 are double dosed. That's making a big difference in protecting our high schools. It's allowed us, with the support of the Chief Medical Officer of Health, to return to normal semestering for those kids come February. What I'd also encourage is screening of their children before they go to school to make sure that any symptoms, that they keep them home. We have expanded testing for those very parents to make their life easier, because we know there's a lot of pressures on them right now. So we've expanded the PCR take-home test to all families in Durham, yes, but really, literally, every community, small and large, of this province, where you can take a take-home PCR test for a symptomatic purpose, or if you're a close contact, asymptomatic case. In addition, we just announced, I guess a week or two ago, with the Deputy Premier and the Chief Medical Officer of Health, the expansion, the first in Canada to provide take-home rapid antigen tests, a kit. 5 tests for all families over the holidays to reduce the pressure on parents and just to make sure these kids can get back safely in January following the holidays. We know that there's, that schools reflect the community. The Chief Medical Officer of Health really believes the layered approach, the ventilation improvements, the PPE inside, the screening before the kids enter the school, the doubling of the public health nurses, and more staff, 2,000 more staff hired in our schools to improve custodial cleaning, more staff for teachers to keep those classroom sizes, and all of that is ensuring today that literally 8 and 9 elementary schools do not have an active case, and 5 out of 6 high schools do not have any active cases. We're taking nothing for granted. We've stepped up the testing by design. We know the winter months could mean higher cases, and we're being very cautious on the way forward. In fact, we just strengthened in elementary schools some of our protocols dealing with lunches and large assemblies, just to be cautious until that vaccine could really roll out for young people. And I'll conclude with a plug for the vaccine. Yesterday we saw kids, the Mayor of Toronto, the Deputy Premier out highlighting the first young people in Canada to get vaccinated. It's a decision parents will make, but we definitely believe it is safe, and it could be an incredibly effective intervention to make the schools more normal and make our communities more safe.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay.